Van life isn't just about hitting the road. It's about trial, error, and pivoting. Over the course of converting our Nissan NV200 into a camper van, we've gone through a ton of gear. And today, we're sharing our 5 biggest VanLife gear fails. We're not just talking about the gear we've ditched, we're also showing you what we've upgraded or want to upgrade to. Hopefully, this will save you time, money, and frustration. Well, welcome back to the Weekender. It's been a minute. We do live in Vancouver, so, you know, it's wintertime and that means rain, so it's kind of tough to get out and do things.
Oh, it's not?
But that means that we've actually had a lot of time to, I don't know, I guess, optimize and figure out what we like and don't like about our van. And some of the purchases that we've made that we might regret a little. Right now, we're going to go over our 5 camping gear purchase mistakes that we made while camperizing our Nissan NV200 micro camper van. Of course, don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell. First off, the TailVeil. Now, we bought this because T got stung by a wasp while cooking dinner, and our first night camping, we actually got attacked by mosquitoes. So we wanted to make sure that that didn't happen again. So we looked online, we found a ton of options, we decided to go with the TailVeil. When we first bought the TailVeil, we were pretty excited about the idea of having some extra space outside the van, but the excitement quickly wore off. The design just doesn't suit our van, especially since it's made to fit an SUV. But because we didn't want to commit to a steep price, we thought we could make it work. Our van has side doors, not a hatchback, and the tent zippers are on the sides, which makes getting in quite the hassle. What was meant to be extra space turned into a bit of a chore. Plus, because our back doors open sideways, the structure didn't offer the flexibility we wanted. Another issue is the design. The TailVeil tapers inwards, so we could only really stand in one spot comfortably. Not exactly the spacious haven we were hoping for. Then there's the color. Why does camping gear in Canada always have to be like red, blue, yellow, green? We prefer something a little bit more subtle. The setup takes about 5 to 10 minutes, but once it's up, the tent has way too many ropes sticking out, creating too many tripping hazards. We did like the mosquito-proof screen in the floor that kept things sealed off from the bugs, but overall, it didn't really fit the vibe or function we wanted. We give it a 5 out of 10. Honestly, it's more our mistake. It would probably work a whole lot better for a single person camping in their hatchback. After a bit more research, we feel like the Dometic Hub or the Edogen Mobility Van Plus tent might be better options. Now, speaking of not committing, we didn't want to commit to roof racks or a storage box. We didn't want to put holes in the roof. We didn't really want to invest a whole bunch of money in it right off the bat. So we found FIVKLEMNZ. This thing here. It's a rooftop storage bag that just goes right over the van. No damage, no fastenings, but you get what you pay for. FIVKLEMNZ? Big mistake. I think we want a storage box and roof racks now. When we first bought this storage bag, it seemed like a good middle ground, and in a way, it worked. FIVKLEMNZ? The storage capacity was impressive, and the material felt thick and waterproof. It kept everything dry through a 34-hour rainstorm, which is a huge win. But the setup? Whole different story. As someone who's tall, I quickly realized I needed a stepladder just to get the bag on the roof, and once it's up there, securing the bag felt like an endless game of up and down and around and around. There are so many straps and buckles that it took me almost 40 minutes just to get it all locked in. It wasn't a simple, quick process, and every time we stopped for a break, I had to double-check everything just to make sure the bag stayed put. The constant flapping of the straps during our road trips really drove us crazy too. It was like the bag was just always there, rattling in the background, and I seriously thought it was just going to fly off. Also, while the bag did keep our stuff dry, it wasn't the most secure solution. I constantly felt like our belongings could be stolen if we decided to park on the street, especially with the bright orange color kind of drawing way too much attention. While it got the job done, it just wasn't the ideal solution. The bag's size, visibility, and inconvenience really made it clear that we needed something more secure and easier to use, which is why we're going to move to roof racks and a storage box eventually. So this is pretty much a 5 out of 10. Next up is the Coleman Classic Two-Burner Stove. It's propane powered, everybody uses it, and there's a reason why. This stove is a staple for many campers, and we get it. It's affordable, easy to use, and pretty efficient for short-term camping. But for our van life setup, it just doesn't make sense. First, there's the propane. Storing propane tanks inside the van always feels risky to me. Ever since I saw a neighbor's propane tank explode when I was a kid, I can't help but be cautious about potential leaks or punctures, especially when it's confined to such a small space like our camper van. Then there's the flaps around the stove that are supposed to protect it from the wind. They're flimsy, awkward, and don't really do the best job of keeping flames stable. Also, the stove heats up way too much during cooking, so you're left waiting for it to cool down before you can actually pack it away. It's one of those things where you get used to the inconvenience, but over time, it becomes frustrating. In terms of functionality, the stove is fine, but we need something that's safer, more eco-friendly, and just doesn't clutter up our small space. We're planning on upgrading to an electric cooktop and a new power station to eliminate the need for propane, and of course be more environmentally conscious. Plus, the stove is one more piece of gear that just doesn't fit the minimalistic vibe we're going for. It's gotta go. Still, it's a solid 7.5 out of 10. Another item that we bought, which was kind of just like a off-the-whim want purchase, was the Ozark Trail beach shelter. Now, we originally bought it because we wanted privacy while we were chilling on the beach, but we didn't really like it. At first, we thought this beach shelter was a great addition. It promised us a little shade and protection on those days we just wanted to lounge on the beach. But it didn't take us long to realize that it just didn't fit into our lifestyle. First, it's huge, and setting it up requires a lot of space. The poles are super long, and once you've got it set up, you have to deal with the annoying problem of trying to avoid the sun's heat like funneling straight into you. The design didn't really help either. It's a clamshell, which means it's going to catch the wind, and if you don't weigh it down properly with rocks or sand, it'll fly away. Not the most relaxing situation on windy days. And let's not even talk about the color. It's bright red, kinda hard to ignore. And since we've started paddleboarding, we realized that we just don't need this. Our Aqua Plus paddleboards are way more fun, and we're spending all our time on the water instead of just sitting on the beach. We're giving this shelter a 6 out of 10. Not bad, but it's been replaced by the freedom of being on the water. Another thing that we bought were our Home Depot camping chairs. Now, we just bought them while we were shopping. We saw them, they were there, they were cheap, we knew we needed chairs, but they've never really been all that comfortable. So we decided to upgrade them, and we'll tell you why. You know the old saying, you get what you pay for, right? These chairs are the perfect example. We picked up 2 of them for only $12 each, and while they served their purpose, they were far from comfortable. I'm 6'3", and when I sit down, my knees feel like they're up around my armpits. Not the most relaxing position, especially when you're trying to kick back and enjoy the outdoors. The chairs are durable and compact, which is great for storage, but when it comes to comfort and looks, they fall short. The dark canvas doesn't really help in the summer heat. It draws the sun and makes them more uncomfortable to sit on for long periods of time. Plus, they're just not very pleasing to look at. We've replaced these chairs with the Go Plus portable beach chairs, which are way more comfortable. They offer better support, and they fit our style of our van. The black Home Depot chairs just weren't cutting it, so we're going to give them a 5 out of 10. And that's a wrap on our 5 biggest VanLife gear fails. Gear is important, but sometimes you don't really realize what's not working until you've lived with it for a while. We hope this breakdown helps you avoid some of the same missteps and gives you ideas for improving your own setup. Have you swapped out any gear recently? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. But right now, I think it's nap time, so it's time to go. Night-night.